o'clock. Okay, thank you, everybody. Tonight is the regular monthly meeting of the Clinton Inland Wetlands Commission. It's Tuesday, January 6th at 7 o'clock. Abby, do you have a role?
I do. All right, Scott Harley,
Present.
Eddie Alberino,
Present.
Mike Florio,
Here.
Robert Corson,
Here.
Lawrence Edwards, no. Chris Horvath,
Here.
Tom Welch,
Here.
Mark Bruno,
Here.
Doug Elliott. I believe it's on.
copy for you.
Doug, do you have audio?
I always.
We'll come back to Doug and Amy Handler.
Easier.
Yeah.
Hey, can I see Amy or Larry? So you're voting.
I'm voting.
Yep. So some housekeeping, we got to review and approve regular monthly meeting minutes and the special site walk. Let's do separately. So I'll take a motion to approve the December 2nd regular monthly meeting minutes.
So,
Okay, Eddie, Chris seconds, any discussion on the meeting minutes? All those voting in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain. Okay, and then the special meeting site walk. So this was the one that we held with Kathy on the 16th. But we're not, because I saw that there's meeting minutes from Eddie and.
Correct, so yeah, so Eddie and Bob went out on their own and had a separate site walk to be able to see the site and that would be an owner out there for that purpose. So that happened, and I believe that was December 6th. There's some notes in the record for the application that we can get to once we get to that application.
Okay.
So that's fine. And then so what you would be approving is the December 16th.
The notice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I also had a separate meeting with Kathy.
With Kathy on site. Okay. Perfect.
I actually went out there, I came late and everybody's gone. So I didn't get out of my car, but I pulled over and I looked and I saw the slope.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Should I submit a report or something?
You don't need to submit a report. It was just that we had some notes from folks who had either gone out together or we've been out, but separately. So that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's no questions or changes to that. I'll take a motion to approve those special meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Eddie? Do I have
I'll
a
second it.
Mike Florio, any discussion on those?
No.
All those vote in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? Okay, motion carries. Item agenda number 3, chair's comments. I don't really have any comments for this month's meeting. 4 is public hearing, which we wrapped up last meeting. I saw that everyone voted on that. That was an interesting watch.
Yes.
Item agenda number 5, administrative review.
There's no new applications and no new items to bring before you tonight.
Okay, so it brings us to correspondence. So the first one is IWC 24-5. It's for 5 Liberty Place, Unit Master. Ellen Bartlett, PE is the applicant. Strawberry Hill Realty LLC is the owner. It's map 53, block 54, lot 14 in the zone R60. And this is for a revised grading plan. I think if most of you remember, this is a permit that we approved for Liberty Place last year.
No, it's 24.
No, 24.
Late 24.
24.
2024.
So I think we'll see a brief presentation, but the crux of the question that will be before the commission is whether or not the applicant will need to come back for a formal revision to the approved plans, or if it's something that we can have Kathy approved administratively of the WBO with the support of the town engineer as a third-party reviewer for some modifications in the stormwater system due to the compensatory storage in the floodplain. So as you may or may not recall, there wasn't engineering review during the inland wetlands application. There was during preliminary elements of the planning and zoning work, and when that happened, there were some recommendations for modifications to that system. So we'll kind of go through those.
Firefly is like, was 24.
My name is Bob Russo. I'm a certified soil scientist with CLA Engineers in Norwich. Ellen Bartlett, fortunately, is not able to attend tonight, but you may remember I was actually here for the presentations, previous presentations as well on this site. And yes, it was December of 24 that the commission voted on this. And what I'd like to do, if I don't collapse the easels here, is just show you briefly what's going on with this site. And as staff mentioned, as your staff Abby just mentioned, this is a change in grading on the site that results from comments from the town's engineer review. And if you remember, just to briefly reintroduce you to the site, you probably remember it somewhat, but the site has on the south side, I-95. There are the existing apartments here. And this is at 5 Liberty Place. Liberty Place is out here on the right side of the drawing that you're looking at. And just for your orientation, north is just a little bit to the right of straight up on the drawing. So if you'll remember previously, and I want to stand in front of the previously approved plan, which is this one on your right. This is sheet 4. This is what was the plan that you voted on and approved in December of 2024. And you can see that there was work, and I'm tracing it with my finger here, in the upland review zone. This blue highlighted line is the wetland line. And the primary work in the upland review zone was really stormwater treatment. It was putting a swale in down slope from the existing parking lot to collect parking lot runoff and route it into a stormwater basin, as well as using this basin to treat runoff from the new impervious surfaces. And I'm just going to indicate that because the town engineer said you need to provide compensatory storage, it means essentially you have to excavate some more material to compensate, to provide floodwater storage, because there is 100-year floodplain on the site. And you can see this blue line that I'm indicating here shows the 100-year floodplain. And you want to keep the same amount of storage in there because some work was being done in this proposal in the 100-year floodplain. It means removing some more material. So I would like to sort of stand between both drawings here and show you the points that I'm talking about. If you look at the proposed grading in the approved plan, the area here I'm indicating on the left side of the sheet, which is on the western side of the site, close to I-95, the grading bulges out here toward the wetland. The change that's been made on the corresponding plan, the one that's before you now, is that the grading is moved back and there's a cut, there's a removal of material here that comes closer to the proposed parking lot and to the proposed housing unit. So really, what the question that we're posing to you is, do you want an application for this, or is it something that you think that staff can approve? And essentially what's happening here is that there is activity over here that's close to the wetland, not within the wetland.
How many feet away?
Oh, very close right here. I would say, I think this is a 20 scale drawing, and looking right here, that grade line and the silt fence is probably about 5 to 7 feet away. From the wetland, from the edge of the wetland. This blue line that I'm indicating is the line of the wetland, and this sort of light orange area that's highlighted is the erosion and sedimentation control barrier.
Does the location of that change from what we originally approved?
It does. If you can see, the grading here is probably about 20 feet away from the edge of the wetland in that spot. And here, because we need to take out material, we're coming all the way over here to about 5 to 7 feet away from the edge of the wetland.
Well, what would stop anything from going into the wetlands? When you grade it down, you're gonna slope it?
So this, the area that you see here, with my finger, I'm gonna trace the 8-foot contour.
Yeah.
So we're basically creating a very flat
There's gonna be a
area.
swale there?
And no, but there will be erosion control silt fence. And
I'm
wood
talking
chip.
about after the silt fence is done.
Oh, no, it'll be vegetated. So
What are
we're
you
planning
putting?
on putting a seed mix on here. That's the same seed mix that's gonna go in the wet bottom basin that's here.
And that would keep anything from going into that?
It would. Yeah, so the erosion control will be in place for about a year after. And in the meantime, this will be seeded with the seed mix. That is native plants, is seed mix that we've used on a lot of sites is from New England wetland plants, and it is specified on the revised plans.
And this is from the town engineer that they wanted you.
To provide that extra flood storage capacity.
What did he say about being so close to the wetlands?
He didn't necessarily comment on that. This is part of the thing about providing storage capacity is you need to do it within the existing floodplain.
Right.
And by nature, that's gonna be close to the edge of the wetland.
What is that boulder you're kind of hatching that you have there?
This hatching is riprap. What you see here is within the stormwater basin, and there's an outlet there. So that the water flows over the riprap to slow it down, to keep the velocity low. So that if and when water does come out of the basin, its velocity is low, the water gets slowed down so it doesn't have erosive force.
And that will flow to either side of those two basins.
It will, it'll flow. It would exit out and flow over land into the wetland eventually.
What would the purpose of that going right out to wetlands versus going into those detention basins?
This is actually after it's been in the basin,
Oh,
it would overflow out here.
oh, okay.
So it would, the swale up here would collect stormwater. There'd be a pipe here that discharges to this riprap pad. So the water would move in the direction generally from right to left
Okay.
and exit the basin here.
Can I just ask a question about the seating?
Yes.
How far is the seating going to be? Is that going to be
I-
all along the
I
line?
think I can show you,
You could use your finger.
underneath one of these, we have a, plan that shows the areas that will be seeded. This blue hatched area that you see is all a seed mix that's created by New England wetland plants for moist disturbed sites. And because this elevation is going to be only a little bit above the elevation of the wetland, we expect the soil here to be moist throughout much of the year. So this blue hatch pattern that you see that we've called out is what we call it is a mixture that comes from New England wetland plants that gives us a good variety of native plants that will repopulate.
Are you gonna dig it
It's
into the
an-
wetlands?
We're not digging into the wetland.
Okay.
No,
Right up to the.
right
edge,
at the edge.
Excavate.
And then excavating back away from the wetlands into the hillside that's there.
And the seating is gonna prevent more erosion
Right,
and be a kind of a natural barrier.
yes.
And how big those plants get?
The plants typically, anywhere from knee to waist high. Yeah,
Okay.
Now that new basin, is that for surface water flowing off the new parking lot?
this stormwater
Or
basin,
two?
this
Yeah.
is actually not a basin.
Oh,
It's actually just an excavated area. So we're not directing any stormwater flow from the roof or the parking lot or anything to here. We're just creating a broad flat area because we need some extra flood storage. All of the stormwater will still be treated in this basin here.
okay. So the water would come from flooding, basically.
The water, any water that got on this new area that we're discussing, that's flood compensation, potentially would come up from the stream itself, from that stream flooding.
And what, can I just ask, you have 12 units going up there, right? So,
Mhm.
what do you use
It's,
for septic? What do you use?
Actually, I just want to
24 units.
20 exactly, yes.
But,
So the septic has actually already been approved by the sanitarian. We have, up on this side of the building, we have some really nice sand and gravel deposits.
yeah,
And the soils there are very favorable for septic. And that's already undergone review and been signed off on by the sanitarian.
okay,
It's quite a ways away from.
yeah, just wanted to check.
So I guess our options tonight is to find that the changes are de minimis and does not require a new application.
Correct, it could be consistent with the existing application, that a new application isn't required, and defer to staff to finalize design as it works its way through the planning and zoning commission, so that any modifications that happen as a result of the planning and zoning application don't require them to come all the way back through here.
Okay,
I'm all right for the staff to make.
Yeah.
me, I'm fine with two, sir.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Do that by motion.
Yeah,
Yes, what we'll be doing is carrying forward the minutes of this meeting to the planning and zoning commission, so they are clear that the wetlands evaluations.
Okay, so we'll need a motion to consider the changes.
I'd like to make a motion to consider, to actually to approve the new, plans for this unit.
And then,
And then to authorize staff to administratively approve any
Yes,
changes
yes.
that may come.
Good.
Absolutely.
I second that.
okay, Eddie and Chris second, any discussion?
No.
All those vote in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone oppose or abstain? Same motion carries.
Thank
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thanks.
So the second one is, looks like a referral from planning and zoning, it's PZC twenty-five 22, it's for 335 East Main Street. Joe Barnick from Osprey Environmental is the applicant. Shoreline
Barnick.
Partners.
First.
Barnick.
Yeah.
Is the applicant. Shoreline Partners LLC is the owner. It's map 88, block 69, lot 124, zone RB2. It's a referral from P and Z. We want to give just a quick.
Correct, so this is an application for a self-storage facility at 335 East Main Street. It's actually one warehousing building and one self-storage that will be received by the Planning and Zoning Commission at their January 12th meeting. This is adjacent to, if you recall, 327 East Main, where there was some significant sort of flood and wetland issues.
Yep.
And sort of the application before you previously. This property is on the other side of that, so some of the improvements that are being proposed are within the 100-foot upland review area of that wetland area. The thing to think about, I'm just gonna pull up, share the screen so folks can see. So the wetland area, if you see this sort of line right here. This blue piece and this blue hash or dotted line is the 100-foot review zone. There is shown on the plans currently, but I believe may be amended, this a perimeter security fence that would be installed. No real grading down here is proposed. It would just be a security fence for the whole facility. There's been talk from the applicant about actually moving that outside of the 100-foot review zone so that there's nothing within that area. There were a couple trees that they proposed to plant, they may keep removed, and then some limited grading for which they may, sort of have a very small encroachment into the upland review area, but while they're doing the work, but the final improvement is meant to be outside. So these are fairly minor pieces. Kathy had asked as the WEO that the commission, rather than have these folks go to you for an application, since these are really the only things within the upland review area. If the commission would be comfortable having first sign off on those items. And again, that fencing is probably the most impactful element, and my understanding is that the intention of the applicant is to remove it. I believe Mr. Barnick is on the call tonight, so I can stop sharing if I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add. We don't hear you if you're talking, feel free to use the chat, or we can go forward, but I think the crux of it is whether or not the commission believes a full application is warranted.
And he is replacing trees, is that right?
It would actually be adding some trees.
Adding a second, yeah.
But even the trees that they're adding, it looks like it's upland of the 50-foot.
It is.
Louis Gates, iPad.
That is a good question. It could be, Jerry Case is the only other person that I'm aware of who had the link for tonight, who's one of the, interested, one of the only members of the. So one of the property owners.
So I guess it would be up to us, do we think that their work inside, well, really, if it's upland of 50 feet, it could be a WEO permit. If it's inside 50 feet, typically Kathy refers it to us.
What is it? Inside 50?
Well, so they're showing it inside currently, but only the fence. And the applicant has indicated that they're gonna move that out.
That's the intention, yeah, so it just hasn't happened, we just haven't received those plans yet, but that I believe is the intention, so. So that would kind of take us out of your general purview and keep it really happy anyway.
I would say if the fence gets moved 50 feet or further from the inland wetlands, then it can just be a WEO permit
I concur with
through
that.
Kathy.
Yeah.
And that seems like that's what the intent is, so that they stay 50 feet out, then. Formal application to the commission is necessary, just an application to.
Yeah.
WEO. Do we need to do that by motion?
That'd be great, yeah.
Can we make that a motion to refer this? It's okay, then number.
But I'd like to make a motion for PCC 25-22 to have Kathy King make the determination that as long as it's inside the 50, you know, she can make the administrator approval.
Good. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Like 4 seconds. Any discussion? Okay, all those voting in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed or abstained? Motion carries.
So who, Abby, you're gonna make sure that it's,
Yeah, it'll either be moved entirely outside, or if it's within 50, within that 50 to 100 area, then it'll go for a WEO permit.
Okay.
Yep.
thank you.
All right, on to item number 7, old business. This is C-25-76 for 81 Old Orchard Road. Assessors map 6, block 2, lot 7-110. In the zone R80. It's a show cause hearing continued from our last month's meeting for Lee Bowler. Property owner for work conducting regulated activity within 100 feet of an inland wetlands or a water course without a wetlands permit. So we did have Kathy's report. She gave us an executive summary with just the discussion of what has been ongoing. I don't know if everyone got a chance to read that. I think it came a little bit right before the meeting. But I guess, should we start with property owner? We'll might just pepper you with some questions. but
Sure,
we're gonna take your
so,
name for the record.
Lee Buller, I'm the property owner, so I had, everybody had kind of asked for different things to be added to that original sketch that I did, that I took off of the 1989 wetlands paperwork. I did send a copy of, it isn't, because it's large for me and Staples, it's not easy to send the whole thing, and of course my printer scanner thing went down in the house, so I did send something over. So I guess it was lacking. It had the fill location, the silk fence was in these plans. There was exact measurements of what I went out and measured everything in the waterfront. It's mainly water frontage, it's not like that's where all the work was started and hoped to be finished. So I have there were accurate measurements in this new plans. I just didn't put that I had done them. So she had asked me to, I sent her another email just kind of letting her know how I had come about this stuff.
So I think it's kind of up to us now. There's two kind of courses that we could have the applicant take. We could have them do a corrective action to basically fix what has been done, but then also build what the application would like to build. Or we can just have the applicant submit a permit. Showing exactly what they want to build and we go through the application process.
Uh,
It basically the same thing is gonna kind of happen no matter what we do, but if we do. By corrective action, we would have to be very specific of you've got to do this, and this in order to remove. The violation.
We could just move to revise the original cease and correct, right?
My opinion is. He didn't really do anything. I mean, I was out there. I mean, I walked it. I mean. He was working, he didn't go into, he's on the outskirts of the water. And that also is I don't know if everybody knows, but that's also a fill site for the fire department, which you can't even access it because it's it'll sink the truck. And I told Todd Hayjack about it. He really didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he bought materials on the thing, but he's supposed to maintain a 35-foot, I believe, egress, entrance and stuff around the water. But it's not conducive for that either, because there's the rocks that he removed were already sticking up anyway, so he was putting them out there. I just make some recommendations outside of wetlands, because if I see something, I gotta say something about the fire pit, so, but besides that, I don't see what he did wrong. I mean, he was doing exactly what the other neighbor did.
Work without a permit
Well,
is.
okay, that's,
Yeah.
okay, besides that, I'm just saying, there's nothing else. It needs a permit to finish the grading off and use the material that was stockpiled, which was in he had erosion controls up for that. But I was concerned about, because of fisheries and stuff like that. I'm sure it's fishing there and stuff. I was concerned about that. But it really wasn't he operated without a permit. That's what he did.
So I have a question.
Yeah, sure, good.
It seems to be, for the first time, we're hearing about the need maybe for cement. And
Not cement, use riprap, use 2-inch stone for the fire trucks? You talk about for the fire truck?
I was just reading this and the first time I saw the possible need for the fire department, I thought.
They don't use cement.
Okay.
They use it's a fill site and they have to trim up all the bushes. It's been neglected and a fire truck can't go in there because.
That's at the end of the pond near the road.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the fire water
Yeah,
weight
you could do that.
8.5.
So they're supposed to have access all the way around the pond. I believe it's on this map. But I can point here so you can see. So right here, you never even know this is here. But right here actually. So this is the runoff from storm drain system into the pond. Right here, the only way you know it's here is if you come off the road and right at the edge of my there's like a large clump of trees here. At the edge of it is
There's a culvert.
there's a culvert. Over the years, the cement cap had broken on it and it was a safety hazard. I got a brand new diamond plated steel. It probably, it's able to be moved by a fireman, but a kid can't get in there and fall into this pit. What the fire department used to do was once this area needed some sort of stabilization so they could pull their trucks in the wet or the foul weather, they used to pour a truckload of trap rock or crushed stone so that their trucks. It used to be really cool as a kid watching them because they come in and they shoot the fire hose clear over the pond to test everything out.
But I'm just saying, it's been neglected.
Yeah.
So
So I did reach out to Brian Hammer, our fire chief, to, so as I gave here's what the proposal is, just to make sure he had seen this. I'm not sure if anybody had a conversation with him about it, but. Because the town has, there's an actual easement recorded on the land records and the subdivision records that give that 30-foot access around the pond, plus this easement area that they were just talking about. So what Brian was talking about, whichever process the commission takes, whether it's to do modify cease and correct, or to require a permit for the work to proceed. Either way, he wants to make sure that when work is happening at this, or, you know, in any area around the pipe or any grading that might happen in that area, he offered to go out on site to sort of oversee some of that and to make sure that there was a conversation first and just to protect that area.
He's gotta stay out of that.
Yes.
You cannot go in there, no,
But
you
the-
can't
but
do
the-
anything, you can't do any modifications with the plate.
But the plans
Please.
show activity in that area, the way you're
Yeah,
going.
you can't do that.
Yeah, so this pipe though, it doesn't, when I drew here, this pipe is well underground.
Yeah, but you can't, you put a cover on, you cannot touch that.
Oh, this, I put,
Yeah,
I
you can't
put,
do anything to that.
well, that's because back in, when it happened
I'm just
ages
saying,
ago, it was.
please listen, you cannot touch that because the fire, the town and Brian Mayer was the chief.
Yeah.
We have those all over.
Oh, I know, and when I did cap it, I spoke to them and they told me, and it's lifted so they can access it. It's just preventing a kid or somebody from falling in it.
Yeah,
When I talked to Brian years ago, he said that they wanted to build like a little building or something over it to make it easier to see.
no, they just put a standpipe in, that's all they do.
Yeah,
Standpipes
I
in,
understand.
and we draft out of those.
Yeah,
We draft.
right
all-
now, it's still an open concrete culvert, but I put a proper top on it so that it was not a hazard.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, water weighs 8.5 pounds per gallon, and you got a 1,000-gallon tank, we got 1,000-gallon tanks, and then our tanker is 2,500 gallons. Is it doing 3,000?
Yeah.
Okay, 3,000 types, the truck would sink right now,
Oh,
so.
yeah, absolutely.
So, I already talked to, our DPW, and they were gonna get a hold of Brian to go out there and look, now Abby also. Yeah, but please stay out of there.
Yeah.
And they can't, you can't drive a truck 35 feet, it is just horrendous, it's all soft, the trucks will
No,
sink.
I don't think anybody's implying that you
No.
would enter the site
No,
without,
that's it.
I think this is just to make sure that anything at the outfall or the intake for the septic, the water, it doesn't get impeded or changed.
Yeah.
As a result.
Yeah, don't do any grading up over there, I'm telling you.
Oh, no, that's like, yeah, that's all the way over.
And around your lake too, I wouldn't. Issue.
Well, so this is what he's proposing, so it looks like by the orange, that's where you wanna fill to.
So the orange, because I don't wanna disrupt the pond, I'm putting the rock, they're small boulders at the edge of the pond. And then to grade from that boulder back and plant grass. Just because there's no way to maintain it if it's just a boulder and then what I've got with the sinkholes and everything else.
So the plan as you kind of have depicted now is gonna show placing the rock at the edge
Edge of the
of
pond.
the pond. So how you're currently properties delineated is that triangle line. With the line with the little black triangles on it, that's kind of offset, that one is your wetland line.
Yes,
So you're showing work inside the wetlands and actually filling in the wetlands,
well, so yes, inside the wetland line, but not filling.
not the water course.
Not the
So wetlands are soils,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
poorly drained soils. That's why, like at the edge of the pond, as you kind of look around it, there's like a barrier, probably like 5 feet wide of what is wetland. So you're proposing to fill that.
To bring it back to where it used to be.
So typically, anytime we have a permit that shows filling a
You
wetland,
can't fill the wetlands.
you can't say that you can't fill it without an application and,
Yeah. But if he's gonna fill the wetlands, you need a permit, we gotta.
I would recommend that our recommendation or course of action would be to allow the applicant to submit a permit. There's in our application, some extra things that you have to do to tell us how much you're impacting, how much fill you're gonna be putting it in, where it's gotta go. Silt fence, we wanna see stuff like that, limits, look, you kinda have it, but.
I have the
location of where the
silt fence
stockpiles are.
And the stockpile, that's where the stockpile.
Stockpile was, and the world she.
Yeah,
pulls out
do
there.
that.
You don't have to put a silt fence in the water,
No.
because he's filling up to the rocks.
Yeah,
You'll
well, the
keep it
rocks are gonna
right
be,
there.
I looked across the pond when he told me. And they had the big rocks, they were rock, well, they were big rocks.
Yeah.
And they had them on the outskirts of the pond. It's not a lake, it's a pond, but it's fairly large. And then I saw some posts for pre-assault, so I told them to remove those. Did you remove those?
Yeah, those are gone.
And remove that fire pit?
Fire pit is completely empty.
Okay, so those are some of the things I see as a burn official, and I worry about the leaching of the pre-salt, so. But other than that.
But
it's-
I'm not asking to do anything different than what's already been done across the pond for me.
I know, just saying, I would stay away from the wetlands. You know, I wouldn't fill in any wetlands.
So, I mean, you can ultimately with a application, you can propose anything you wanna do.
Yeah.
You've gotta then be able to kind of back it up with answering our questions.
Sure.
Typically, when we see applications, most applicants try not to touch the wetlands.
Yeah.
There's times where we've approved impacts to wetlands, it's usually crossings, you know, like someone's gotta cross it to be able to build a house and behind it, and we've approved it, but we usually don't lean towards allowing grading completely over the wetlands.
Well, it would be completely over the wetlands. It's just for the I
It would
have
be
that
kind of-
first 6 feet.
and then that little finger that sticks way out towards the road.
So
You would be filling in
this is
that.
the edge of the pond. Right?
Correct.
All on this orange section is from the rock, it's at the edge of the pond, back 6 feet. Is what because it's on average, because over here it's a little, it's how steep it is to make it so that it's not a disaster. It's no different than what was approved across the pond at my neighbor's house that they did.
Do you know when that, like, I don't
In
remember.
2022. They did it in 2022. My 2 neighbors who had done it came with me to the last meeting, in support of what I have done. And to be honest, I mean, if you want the application, it's sitting.
Yeah, we can look it up and
It's-
see what we.
But my application is also sitting in here pending. The only thing was I didn't hit submit with some new stuff when it was all done. And I had started to fill it out right after they did theirs.
Okay, so you've already started filling.
It's all
out
done.
an application. Okay,
The application's all done, it's waiting, it was literally, I needed to upload one thing and hit submit, and I totally forgot about it, and. When I got the backhoe and I started messing around and. I kinda got ahead of myself and that's where we're at.
Well, you were excited that you,
Yeah, and I wanted to see if what I had acquired would safely do what I needed to do. Cause they used an excavator, I have a backhoe, it's a little different. Or, you know, they had a guy come in with an excavator, so it was a little different.
okay,
But yeah, there was
You want
no,
to include like the thickness, the way you plan to fill, things like that. The amount of material.
yeah, it just, you know, I basically had planned on just doing what I had, you know.
so you're gonna use, you get, to let everybody know, because I see it across the street.
It's necessary with friend request.
The, you're gonna use the boulders that you,
Yes,
okay, and you're gonna put those around the pond,
yep,
and then you're gonna use the soil that you have that you brought in,
yes,
and you're gonna spread it out evenly,
yes,
and then you're gonna plant grass.
yes.
And when are you gonna plant the grass, how far back? After you cause you can't even walk that property without breaking your ankle.
Yeah, it just, everything's gonna get, like raked flat and grass wherever it needs grass, cause I want that all to be
Okay.
a stable environment.
So you don't have to really go into what,
Well,
well, he's choosing to, cause he wants the rocks up. That'll kind of be the issue when you submit your application.
yeah, you gotta see exactly how far you're going to the wetlands, so.
And it would probably be, so with an application, it kind of sounds like we're gonna go that way, and you've already kind of filled one out.
yeah, it's done.
The way it works is it's basically kind of a repeat of what you've done. You officially submit to us everything that's in the applications, we can see and all back up. You gotta notify your neighbors, so now that they know that you're planning to do work, they can come and see the application.
Yeah.
But what we'll do is we'll schedule a site walk again.
Again, yeah,
Here is where we would want to be able to see physically when we're out there, okay, where are you placing your rocks? physically, and then we wanna be able to see, okay, where's that wetland?
You can use tomato stakes.
Somewhere so that you can kind of try to show us.
Well, I mean, there already are,
those two.
where the blue is, there already are.
Are some, okay.
Okay.
It would try, it'd be locating that triangular line kind of around so that we could see, okay, this is what you're going to be filling. And this is the elevation you're gonna be at.
Yeah, it's, I mean, literally, it's 6 feet back from the rock at the edge of the pond.
That's what I was getting at, yeah.
Yeah,
So, and that's what we would be interested in,
Yeah.
because it's any impacts in the wetlands is really our jurisdiction and
Yep,
and you're gonna be showing spillage of it. Currently.
great, yeah, great.
So for clarification purposes, I want to make sure you have everything on the list of what the commission is gonna wanna see. Is the commission asking for a new delineation of this
No,
continued
no.
line, or are we okay with this map, given the grade of the pond as it comes up?
it's just.
I think your map is fine, it shows the pond limits, and I mean, from what I could tell. I mean, there was snow on the ground, but the wetland delineation seems right.
You don't see it.
It drops.
Yeah, we went there before, so you could see it with your own eyes.
Yeah,
I mean, it really, it's just a waste of money.
About this weekend.
Right.
The next several days are gonna be warm enough. It's gonna
If
be-
you wanna, can we schedule a quick sidewalk for Saturday morning?
Well, we gotta do it
Yeah, but-
after he submits the application.
I'm sorry,
The application should be submitted.
right,
And
if
received.
you get that in, well, because it's gonna be in the fifties.
Yeah, but that'll be next month's meeting.
Yes.
The issue was, it couldn't be 100% accepted. This is my understanding with my back for emails with Kathy, was it couldn't be accepted because I already got a cease and correct. So I couldn't submit a application, for something that I had already received a cease and correct order for. So I believe everything but this updated, well, no, that this has been added to the file. So now I believe everything that is needed in order
To move
to
forward,
date,
yeah.
to move forward with that application is there. And obviously, we're in the middle of winter and I have a 2-wheel drive machine, so there will be, I can't do anything until we get some normal weather, for safety reasons. Okay,
So,
So what staff has done is prepared a motion, just sort of for the normal course of stuff, this with sort of if the permitting track or where the commission wanted to go. There's a proposed motion in here to kind of revise that cease and correct, to push this in that direction. And then we'll kind of be in touch, we'll make sure the application is complete, make sure it's received at the next meeting, and then move things to sidewalk and kind of get you ready.
We're right on track, except make sure that he doesn't have to have a delineation. Just-
Yeah, and you made that clear tonight, so
Yeah.
when that application comes in,
Okay,
staff will be
okay.
required.
Okay,
Okay.
I'd like to read the other 2 permits for the neighbors as well.
yeah, I
and,
mean,
and for the record, my neighbors were the only ones, and then I see with my 3/4 of a permit. If you go to any of the other parts of the neighborhood, you see major things that have been done in the neighborhood.
one, most of the time, it's just, you just don't know that you need a
Yeah.
permit for this, and this is.
So like, I wasn't trying to be like a.
Am I?
no, we awesome.
No,
You were very cordial when you went out there, so.
so I'd be curious to see if that was permitted and,
The 179 permitted, it was done through an IWC permit.
okay.
It was.
And I followed basically his permit when I filled out my application.
So there is 1 permit.
There is one permit
But
for
across the-
79
Across the,
across the board.
you know, when you look at the pond, that all those rocks, that was the last permit that we.
Okay.
And with the application, we can include that decision in that record, so you have that to compare it to.
Yeah.
So there are three properties that have rights to that pond. There's my portion, which is the largest. 79 Old Orchard owns the next largest portion, and then the Navarros, who are we're all very close. They're 83 Old Orchard. They have some in the back, where it's all completely overgrown. In the back corner, where the pond actually turns into some sort of like brook or something and goes off into.
Yeah, once you get that permitted, then we could schedule a site walk and go out there,
And
because
hopefully we have better weather, like you guys didn't have terrible weather, but everybody else, it was.
it's just. You gotta go on a weekend, because during the light, because you break your legs in all those holes,
Yeah,
that's, I don't want to be hurt.
yes, the sledding's been a little treacherous, we'll say.
So does everybody agree the best way to fix the ceasing correction is to just require a formal application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can, once it's accepted, we set a site walk, everyone sees it, then we can.
Compare it to what we've already,
And I,
not, yeah.
and we can discuss that and we can make sure we're being consistent.
Yes,
with the
sir.
Mission.
Yep.
Do we need to do anything with the current cease and desist?
Yes, so this is technically a continuation of the show cause hearing for the cease and correct order, so the motion that is written for you will do that, or you can modify it as you see fit, but you need to actually act to sort of revise, because I don't believe that the permit was required in that cease and correct. So you would be revising the cease and correct to say, you know, work continues to say stopped until such time as an application is approved.
Yeah, don't do nothing until we get that application.
And then there's a series of findings.
I don't think you can right now.
that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
That thing's tucked away for the winter.
So if we agree with someone, if we're okay.
Yeah.
You mind using the draft motion that staff developed? That's fine.
Okay, you wanna read it?
Yeah, I thought you read it above.
All right.
To be right under the bus.
To add,
I move to revise the original cease and correct order for Lee Bowler of 81 Old Orchard Road to continue the prohibition on work and require the property owner to apply for permits to conduct regulated activities, including modification of the pond perimeter and associated grading, as shown on the reference map titled Site Development Plan Phase 2 Kenilworth, Section XL. Parkview Estates lots 106 to -126. Prepared for Spencer Hill Associates, Clinton, Connecticut by Arthur Barton, LS, dated 7/6/1986 and submitted with handwritten notations on January 2nd, 2026, and adopt the following findings of facts. 1, the property owner proposes deposition of material which constitutes regulated activity pursuant to section 2.19.0 of the Clinton Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations. 2, the property owner proposes grading and deposition of materials in the regulated areas defined in section 2.19.1 of the Clinton Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations. 3, the cease and correct order was issued on November 26, 2025. 4, a showcase hearing was opened on December 2nd, 2025, and was continued to permit a site visit by the Inland Wetlands Commission. 5, the Inland Wetlands Commission has taken into consideration all relevant facts and circumstances and finds
Pursuant to the 860 area code and authorization code.
that additional information, including the proposed finished grade, final soil stabilization, and the size of proposed rocks to be installed is necessary to determine the impact of the proposed work on the wetlands and watercourses. Number 6, the town of Clinton has an easement interest in the pond, 30-foot buffer around the pond and an access easement to use the pond in support of fire operations as noted in the following record documents. A, property deed granted from Design Developers of Connecticut Incorporated to William R.E. Buller and Martha F. Buller as recorded in volume 196, pages 926 to 927 in the Clinton Land Records. B, property deed from William R.E. Buller and Martha F. Buller to Lee E. Buller and Lauren M. Slumkowski, recorded in book 439, pages 368, 369 of the Clinton Land Records, and C, maps 2070 and 2071 is recorded in the office of the Clinton Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Sorry, buddy.
I'm good. So we have a draft motion by Chris, so wait a second. Maybe 5 seconds. Any discussion?
Say it, Kurt.
All those voting in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? Okay. So just submit your application and next month's meeting, we'll take it up, accept it, set a site walk, do this again and
Okay.
get you approved.
So my question is since it's already in the system,
So we'll be in touch, so we'll take a look at it tomorrow, because I haven't seen the application.
Did you hit submit?
So we'll-
twice, I got told I couldn't submit it the second time because I was still in CC, right?
I will go in tomorrow morning and make sure that it's current and that if there's any stops on it, and then we can start, if there's any additional information, we can get you going. And we can get you for the next week.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you guys.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, item agenda number 8, WEO report. Let's see,
Just the one that we gave you for the top.
okay,
Thank you.
number 9, new business, I don't think we have any new business to discuss. Alright, so with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Amy got it, he looked at me.
You got it.
Those voting in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright, thank you guys.
Thanks.
For next meeting. February.
Like the second.